Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Win, Lose, or Cry, everybody's favorite podcast. Just the two of us today. James and I are here. We're going to talk about some All Star stuff. We're going to talk about some Leaf stuff. A bunch of news around the league. James, start us off. What did we watch this weekend?
Sorry?
What did we watch this weekend?
Well, we had the All Star competition. I personally did not watch the game. I don't think I've watched the game in probably 10 years or so. I am in it for the skills competition, which I can't say I was overly happy with this year.
No.
Like, going into it, I liked what they had lined up, right? Like, I liked the fastest skater, that's whatever. I think it's important because I want to know who's the fastest skater, but it's not the most entertaining one to watch. The save streak, always entertaining to watch.
Although I got problems with that one. I have problems with that one, but we will get to it.
We'll dive into each one, right? But going into it, right, you got the save streak, the breakaway challenge, the hardest slap shot. They're all kind of staple.
Yeah.
Along with the fast skater, they're all staple All-Star things, and I expect them every year. They're pretty hard things to screw up, in my opinion.
But you know what?
But you know what? The NHL has found a way to screw up things I didn't know you could. So, I don't know. Okay, so Jordan Kyrou won the fastest skater.
Yeah.
That's the one skill that I missed. But from the highlights and the clips that I saw, it didn't look like people were
going
interested.
Full tilt. Like,
yeah,
they were skating hard, but it wasn't like, I need to win this.
Like, honestly speaking, the fact that McDavid didn't win tells me he didn't go all out. Right? I think if anyone would have put money down on who is the fastest skater, I would put my money on McDavid any day of the week.
Yeah. You know what though? I think someone could beat McDavid. I think McDavid's the fastest with a puck, but without a puck, I could see someone beating him.
No, because I think so. Jordan Kyrou did it in what 13.5 or 12.5 or something
I cannot remember
like that.
the exact number.
All I know is I saw it a breakdown of it somewhere that whatever Jordan Kyrou got, McDavid has actually done it faster than that in the past.
Yeah,
which tells me that he wasn't going full speed.
Yeah,
right, and and it didn't look like they were giving it 100%.
And I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't see. That's the one I missed too, because I was finding a completely legal and fair stream.
Exactly,
completely legal.
Me too.
And it took a while to get up, but that's the
it
one
did.
I missed.
It did. All right, so let's jump into the ones we did watch. Right, so next up we had the save streak.
Yeah.
I believe that. I don't know if the exact order. I'm just gonna kind of round them off.
Yeah, that's fine.
We had the save streak.
Yeah.
In theory, I love it, right?
Yeah.
There's what 16 shots each goalies get, I think. 16 or 18 shots, something like that they get to face. And this time was a tandem, right? Each division had a tandem.
My first problem with it.
Well, see, I actually didn't mind that. I was okay. I was okay with that.
The problem is you want to see who gets the best streak. If your partner is not doing well, you can't get a streak going. So how do you
realistically though, out of those 8 goalies, all 8 are good. You can rely on any of them.
Yes, but in that skills comp, Campbell kind of flopped a little bit. Yeah.
Garbage. Yeah. He looked horrible. But so the tandem thing, that didn't bug me. I didn't have an issue with that. What bugged me was they ended the competition early. Mm-hmm. As soon as it was out of reach, because Campbell and Vasilevsky set the record at 8 saves.
Yeah.
Right? And they got to go, I believe it was all 18 or 16 shooters or whatever it was, or shots. The other pairings didn't. As soon as they were out of reach of getting the highest save streak, they ended the competition, which I didn't like.
Yeah, it's like I want to watch the whole thing.
I want to know, like, okay, cool, they can get 7 saves and they can come second. But like, they just, as soon as they would let a goal by, and they're like, nope, they can't get 8. Okay, blow the whistle. Yeah. It's over.
They're so bent on like timing, what like the NHL has money. I don't know why they're so like we have to make sure we cut it off at this time because like why
I don't know.
we'll get to it later, but the accuracy challenge. Some players got like 30 seconds where the winning thing was like 11. Why didn't they cut them off? Like there's like weird. Why did they cut this off but not that? Why do you have 10 people doing accuracy but you only have 4 people doing hardest shot?
I know.
Like,
I didn't like it. And the other thing that I kind of heard was that the goalies didn't get proper warm up time prior to the save streak.
I believe it.
Which, as a goaltender, speaking from from the perspective of a goalie, what 4 or 5 of the goalies in that are all potentially Vezina candidates.
Yeah, that's horrible.
This year, why would you, in that situation, why would you try as hard as you can to make a save while you're cold and possibly throw away the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it didn't make sense for them to be cold like that and then go and try and make 10 saves in a row and try their hardest if all you get is a good job.
Yeah.
By the way, your groin, you're out for 2 months.
Yeah, it's the NHL's like hell bent on having this fail every year,
Which
it's really sad. We talked about this earlier, like off camera, but the NBA, the NBA, the NBA, the NFL, they have All Stars competitions, but everyone likes them. Why does
I don't know why. I don't.
There's more fanfare. The events are done like there. I think there's more fanfare and they want to be there more and they have more incentive to win. Like it's the same thing. It's like bragging rights, but for some reason with the NFL and that it's very different. It's like the NHL is like no one just gives a shit. There's
also kind of the culture of it. Like the players don't care.
No, and the NHL doesn't make them want to.
And if the players don't care, and you can tell the players aren't involved, fans won't be involved.
And nothing says the NHL like. Why would you take this as a competition when there's the judging is a farce? And you know where I'm getting at on this, right?
I do.
The breakaway challenge. So I'm going to go through because a lot of them were pretty good goals. There were some fun ones. Yeah, there were some fun ones, and then there was some good ones. So first of all, Kaprizov, nothing crazy, but he takes off his jersey. He's got the Ovechkin jersey underneath. Switches hands to a right-handed stick, scores, and then does the hot stick. And that was like a.
So
good.
It was Ovechkin's stick, and it was Ovechkin's helmet.
Yeah.
Because Tom Wilson is the one who passed him the equipment. It was Ovechkin's stuff he did it with.
I didn't know it was actually his stuff.
Yeah,
that's
like
great.
You saw it was Ovechkin's helmet he was wearing.
That's great.
Because Kaprizov he's a kid, right? Yeah. His favorite player growing up was Ovechkin.
That's awesome. See,
so like his idol growing up was Ovechkin.
Fantastic start to that breakaway challenge.
Honestly, the best start.
Fantastic start. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I saw the hot stick stuff. I mean, that's crazy. And I forgot until afterwards, like, yo, Kaprizov's left-handed. He did that with a right-handed stick. Yeah. That's great.
Oh, I could tell. Watching him come down with it, I was like, oh, you're not right-handed. Or
but he did pretty good.
It was rough looking. And that one was honestly my favorite one.
Over Zegras.
Okay. It was my favorite because it was the most traditional.
Okay.
Right? You go back and you watch some of the old skills competitions, and it wasn't an act. It wasn't a big show, right? It was Ovechkin grabs a hat with a maple leaf flag sticking out of it, and he grabs 2 sticks and goes down there. Like, it's quick, right? Brent Burns grabs the Chewbacca mask and throws it on and goes down and shoots, right? Corey Perry pulled out a little mini stick the one time. Like they were fun things, but it wasn't a show.
Well, that's why,
right?
Like Zegras's was my favorite, and there wasn't much. The show was he had the Average Joe's thing, and the show was the blindfold, but there wasn't any crazy...
and the dodgeballs being thrown.
That too, but come on, the skill involved in that, even if he had no blindfold, even if he
could see, he could see.
Okay, say he had perfect vision, even if he did. How, like, that's insane. Like, how he was keeping on. That was so good.
What did I say last week on the podcast? Do you remember?
It's like we're waiting for Zegers to do something crazy.
No, Zegers is changing the NHL.
Yeah, that's why I
loved
loved
his Michigan goal.
Yeah,
and his pass, he's changing the NHL. Yeah.
And that's why that's my favorite. That's why that's my favorite, because you said the Kaprizov was the most traditional. This is like the new age of NHL. It's like, hey guys, this is what you're competing with.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Zegers was the best person on it.
Yeah.
He had the best goal, he had the best skill, the best trick. What I didn't like is the fact that he was wearing an Average Joe's jersey and there was dodgeballs being thrown.
I think it would have been perfect without the dodgeballs.
It would have been. And like, so it is what I'm just being like cynical because I like the old school way of it. Like I like the way it used to be done.
Okay, John Tortorella.
Like
I know I'm joking.
Yet watching what he did was absolutely insane, and the fact that he didn't win it is stupid.
That's what I was getting at with the judging.
You want to know what's stupid, Brandon?
What?
He didn't come second.
Oh, it was Hughes.
He came third,
right?
Jack Hughes came second.
That was my least favorite. Well, actually, no, Petrangelos was my least favorite.
Oh, really? I thought DeBrincat's was terrible too.
Oh yeah, DeBrincat. Oh yeah, I took DeBrincat's off of my notes because it was so bad.
Like. Oh my! But again, like they were all. So I don't know if you go back and watch. So I went back and I watched a couple of them in 2009, I believe it was the All Star, the breakaway challenge. Each player had like a 40-second timer.
I think that's.
They had a lineup of pucks on the red line, I believe it was, and they had 40 seconds. Do as many things as you can do. That's what it used to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't this big show. It was. You can take 4 shots, you can take 3, you can take 1, you can take 9. As fast as you can go, what can you do?
You get 1.
Right? Back in, I think it was 2018 or 2017, there was only 3 shooters per team, right? Because they had Team East, Team West.
Yeah.
It was 3 shooters per team, but each shooter got 3 attempts. And even the ways I remember it, each shooter had 2 attempts at it. And so, like, the year where Burns put on his mask, he went down, made his shot, came back, and then put the mask on for the second one.
Yeah.
So each player used to do something that was a really good deke or entertaining.
But then they'd have a fun thing.
And then they would do something silly, right? Like, Ovechkin had the double stick. Subban did something the one year. I don't remember what it was.
He had the
I think he came out as Elvis.
Yager hair.
Oh, Yager hair. Yeah. Yager hair. But again, that was his second shot, right? He would do something fun. It wasn't a full theatrical performance.
That's why I liked Zegras'. I liked Zegras' and I liked Kaprizov's.
Yeah.
Because they had theatrics, but it was they got their one shot and they did something cool on the shot and beautiful.
And it was quick, it was easy, there you go.
Yeah.
Right? DeBrincat, he skated on the ice. He had the football player come out. He had some other dude who I don't know who he was.
I don't know. It was like the whole thing with like they're getting a bad shot and a regular shot. Okay, the thing that pisses me off the most is that Pietrangelo didn't even score.
I know.
Yeah, but he won the break.
He put the puck over the net.
Yeah. And I read something, apparently it's supposed to be a joke on The House Always Wins.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you confused that people aren't taking your competition seriously?
See, I thought Pietrangelo used to play in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure John Hamm is from St. Louis.
Well, yeah, that's the other joke about it, right? Like
right, and so, but yeah, I get it. Like, the house always wins, whatever. Like
that's stupid for a competition, though. It's a competition.
Like you have this. Zegers is what, 20 years old? You have this kid just pull off the most skilled thing that has probably ever happened in an all-star competition.
Yeah. And you know what it was? NHL's like, I don't want to promote that.
No. Yet every clip I've seen on Instagram or TikTok in the past week, has been Zegras
Because
doing
it's
that.
insanity.
You want to know what's even crazier? Go back. So like I said, I watched the 09 Breakaway Challenge. If you get a chance, anyone who's listening, go back and watch it. Because you can watch Patrick Kane, Martin St. Louis, Ryan Getzlav all try and pick the puck up on their stick. Only one of them is able to do it.
Really?
Only Martin St. Louis was able to do it, and he did it on his second attempt. He couldn't do it on his first one.
Wow.
All three of them tried to scoop the puck and skate with it, or try and spin with it. Only St. Louis can do it, and he did it. It looked really good. He missed the net though, but it looked really good. But all three of them tried to scoop it. None of them could. Zegras goes down, one-handed, throws it to the far side, brings it back, shoot
I don't know how he did that. Like that. Again,
like I said, Zegras is changing the NHL.
Yeah. Again,
he's changing the game.
He may not. He wasn't complete. He probably wasn't completely blindfolded.
Oh, he wasn't.
Even it might have been a little harder to see. Take that away. Say he was completely visible.
Yeah.
That is not easy to do.
1,000%. Full, no blindfold. That was highly, highly impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think he was blindfolded at all. When because it was Milano that put the blindfold on him. And I noticed at the time, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. When Milano puts the blindfold on, you actually see him grab it and pull it up like this because it was bunched up across his eyes. So he pulled it up so that it was flat across where his eyes were.
Literally don't care. It doesn't take away from it.
That was part of the theatrics.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Even that take the blindfold away, it was still the best thing I've ever seen on ice in an NHL competition.
And people are complaining that the NHL needs to move on and get some more theatrics in there, and you got to have like these young guys do skills. So what do? Yeah, like you came like fourth. Third. You lost to
He beat a guy who scored with a football.
Yeah. You lost to the guy in the breakaway.
Congrats.
It's a breakaway challenge. Yeah, so you lost to the guy who didn't score. And the guy who had,
I know.
And the other one who was way too long, like the Jack Hughes thing. Like
it was fun. The Jack Hughes one didn't bother me as much,
but I'm like
because
that shouldn't have won. That shouldn't have came second though. I like that was a thing because it was a fun. He was young. It was a fun thing. They're like, oh, it's Vegas. They did magic.
And it was fun that they both threw their stick over the glass at the same time.
I liked it.
Cool.
I liked it. Shouldn't have beat Zegras.
And it shouldn't have been that long.
No,
it was too long for me.
But my thing is, if you're gonna do this as a competition, and every other sport has their All Star as a competition, so that you could see them be the best. Yeah. If you're gonna be like it doesn't matter if you are the best, we're just gonna judge it for funsies. You're not gonna get the best.
And that's the thing is they tried to be like they tried to make it fun, but they butchered it.
And even when the people that were fun, they're like, yeah, but you're not the one who we wanted to win. So we're gonna change it. Like,
yeah. So that one was rough. So the other, I had a couple issues with this whole thing. So
I had an issue.
Moving on from that,
next one.
We had the hardest shot. Okay, the hardest shot is pretty simple. You have 4 shooters, right?
Yeah. And
you take the hardest shot. That's simple.
Yeah.
The way they used to do it, and when I say used to do it, like I said,
back in the day,
I like the old school stuff.
Yeah.
Back when
like Chara,
Weber and Chara went toe to toe. The way they did it then, which is the way I think they should have done it, is each shooter gets 2 shots, but they do it in 2 rounds. So each shooter goes once, and then so that way you know for your second shot
you have to beat
what you have to beat, right? And what it led to the one year was Weber started the competition, and he broke Chara's record from the previous year. Mm-hmm. Chara then went up for his shot and beat Weber, technically setting the new record.
I remember that, and I still remember that.
Weber went up for his second shot, beat Chara's, setting a new record, and then Chara walked up and hit like a 108 something, and set the all-time record for hardest slap shot.
I remember that year. I still
was
remember
compelling.
that. Yeah, because I still remember
was compelling.
Yeah. This year it's.
And
I mean, Hedman won.
Hedman, which I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a foot taller than everybody else shooting.
103 though, like again, that's not.
You know what though? That's kind of what I expected the winner to get, right? Like you said, Weber and Chara hitting 105, 106, 107, 108. That's unheard. Like I said, that competition, all four of those shots broke records.
Yeah.
Each time they shot, it broke a record. So 103 is good.
Yeah.
Right? Anything 105 is like really, really
It
good.
is. It's just like after remembering that, nothing's gonna come close to that.
Well, and the fact that it was like, okay, you get one shot, okay, you get another one. All right, sit down. All right, you get one shot, you get another shot, okay, sit down. I was like, it took the suspense out of it, right? It took the competition out of it.
Yeah.
Imagine, because I remember that other than Hedman, who went, I think, 101 and 103, the other ones were like one guy hit 89 and then 101.
Yeah.
Right? Wilson, I forget what his shots were, but there was a gap between the first shot and the second shot. Like, it was a big jump. Imagine if they did it the exact same way, same shooters, but they had it in rounds. Right? You would have had 89 put up. Then you would have had Wilson with like a 92 and whoever else it was with like a 93, and then
a lot more compelling.
And then you had Hedman go up with the 101. It's like, okay, Hedman has it now. Round 2 starts, Buddy walks up and shoots a 101.3 and beats Hedman. Right?
Yeah.
Now you're like, okay, now this is a competition.
Yeah, it's a lot more compelling that way.
But they screwed up the easiest thing, in my opinion. That is the hardest thing to screw up. You take a shot at the net as hard as you can, and you do rounds. And they got it wrong.
I think they screwed up every event. Because
not the fastest skater. Fastest skater.
I mean, how do you screw that up?
Yeah. Go.
But there's the two new ones, and I had problems with both of these as well.
So I liked the 21 and 22. I
like the idea of it.
See, okay, well, let me ask you this. Why didn't you like it?
So you're doing an accuracy challenge with some of the most accurate shooters in the NHL, right?
Yes.
They're above the world. The targets were so big, all of them got 21 twice over, and it only ended because they ran out of aces.
They didn't get them twice over.
Yeah, everyone got 21.
Yeah, they all got 21.
Yeah, and then they had to do it again.
Some of them got it in 2 shots. Some of them got it in 5.
Yeah, but that was the thing, right? They had to get 21, and all the rules that they did, everyone got 21. Then they had to do it again. Everyone got 21, and the only reason it ended is because people weren't busting. It's because they ran out of aces and stuff. So it's like, well, now you can't get 21 because all we're left is. They
didn't know that they didn't reshoot to get 21. They had to shoot for a high card to win. That was the tiebreaker. Was if you had people who had 21, the tiebreaker was you had to get the highest card.
But they did it twice.
That's how it ended.
But they kept doing that, like, because they were so accurate. Like, the targets were way too big to do a challenge like that.
But see, I liked it. I expected them all to get 21. I mean, like I said, they're the best shooters in the world.
But that's the problem. Like, they're all gonna get. That's why I like it should have been 5-card poker instead of 21.
That's what
the targets were too big
many times.
Yes, and there was no. It was silent, like deathly silent.
So here's the issue with the silence. So that wasn't the competition's fault. That's the players. They have no personality.
Well, it's the players in the NHL. Like, there was a group of maybe 30 people around. Like, maybe play some music in the background just to kind of get the ambiance going. It was like we did it in your backyard or something.
It was,
and even in their backyard, one of us would cheer.
Yeah, it was very quiet, and they just.
It felt like I was watching golf.
Yeah, and it just.
And that's not a problem.
I like the concept of it.
I agree, but I think my issues are more with the execution. The concept.
I think they executed it well.
No, the execution of the thing in general. Like I said, like I was saying.
Yeah.
There's it was dead silent. You have some players that all those guys are just very Okay, I got it.
Well, like, you know what Austin Matthews is like.
Exactly, but if you know that, have some music going in the background or something. Get more than 20 people there. Like, it's COVID, but it's also Vegas, and they don't care.
And what was rough was they had Jerry D as the announcer or the commentator. He is horrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the execution. Like, my problem with it was
he's a Canadian comedian who had a show on CBC that wasn't that funny.
Yeah,
he's very dry humor and he was just annoying. Like, he tried to make jokes out of every single thing that happened, and it just fell flat every single time.
Is it bad? I don't know. I know the name. I didn't know that was Jerry D. I didn't know he was a comedian. Watching, I thought it was random dude.
Nope, he's a comedian, and he had a TV sitcom on CBC for I think 4 seasons or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
He also does like Canadian Family Feud. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
he's the host of that. I think I could be wrong there, but I think he's So, but he's got a very specific type of humor, and it's like that awkward, dry humor that doesn't work for a live performance, especially when you have people who don't talk.
Exactly. You knew going in, those guys are not going to be cheering and doing stuff.
Yeah.
You could have gotten some music. You could have gotten maybe like, you're in Vegas. How is it hard to find people with personality? You go down the strip and you're like, maybe we should get one of the 50 magicians that has shows here to do it. That would be fun.
No, because they did have a magician come on the ice. Do you remember that?
Are we talking about Jack Hughes?
No, the magician who snapped the stick in half. He's like, oh, you chose this team to like.
That was the worst magic trick I've ever seen in my life.
It was pretty terrible. However, he was probably the most entertaining person the entire night.
He was as entertaining as a sack of wet potatoes, and you're still right.
But he had the personality. He cared, right? Like he cared.
But man, that was like you found a street magician that's starting out. Like, what was that?
I could do that. Was it Marcia's show? Marcia
was with him,
and he couldn't fucking read.
I know,
bro. There's 4 divisions in the NHL. You are a professional athlete in the NHL, and you don't know what the divisions are. Even if you couldn't read,
you can kind of guess. Yeah.
You know that there's 4 divisions. You know which division you're in, and there's only one that starts with an M.
It's too hard, man. It's too hard.
Oh, it was. I felt bad for him. Whatever.
Who the magician or Marchessault?
Both of them.
Because, man,
both of them.
Marchessault
didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be doing that.
I was sitting with Tots, my fiance, and she's like, "What was that?"
It was.
I'm like, I think it was a magic trick.
It was rough. Yeah. Oh. And then last but not least, we got the fountain face-off, which
again, it was 4 targets. 2 of them were targets I could hit. Like, they were massive. And then they had the one empty net, and then they had like the one little platform.
2 little platforms.
Oh, 2 little platforms.
There was 2. There was one on each side. There was left and right one, left and right big one, and then center. So,
I could have hit the 2 big ones in the net. I could have done that.
Yeah, eventually you could have.
But like, right? It should. If I'm watching All Stars, it should be something that's hard to do and fast.
No, I agree with how big they were, because you had to land the saucer properly.
Fair.
That was the thing. If you didn't land it flat, it would bounce and jump over the glass. That was the tricky part. Is it had to be a clean saucer pass.
But it was also very dark. It
was very dark.
It was very dark, and the pucks were laid up pucks that they lost seconds because they were hitting the puck because it wouldn't work.
Okay, so that was my biggest issue.
Yeah.
You have these professional athletes who have trained essentially their entire life to play the sport of hockey with a regulation puck. Mm-hmm. Now you're putting them on display in an accuracy situation on a timer and you're like, oh, by the way, the pucks are heavier and you have to light them up.
Yeah, you couldn't have paid an intern to at least turn them on.
Well, and my thing is, why in a competition scenario where they're all against the clock, why are you changing the weight of the puck?
Yeah.
Like, look at Huberdeau.
Yeah.
Huberdeau came last place because he didn't realize how heavy the pucks were. He shot the open net. He went short 4 times before he got it in because he put probably the right amount of weight behind it, but because of the extra weight of the puck, it fell short.
Yeah, it was
right. Like,
well, they had a similar issue a couple years ago when they put the stat tracking stuff in the pucks, and all the superstars were complaining that pucks don't feel right.
No, and so again, back to these stupid light up pucks. I get the idea of it. It's nighttime. You want the theatrics of the light up puck going through the air. Like, it's cool. I get that. But again, at the very end, you had your head to head competition with these light up pucks. And I forget who lost. His puck wouldn't light up.
Yeah, and he's sitting there smacking the puck.
He smacked it like 4, 5, 6 times, grabbed a different puck, hit it, lit it up, shot it, and then accidentally grabbed the same puck again, hit it, and it didn't light up, hit it again, it didn't light up, and like right there, you lost the competition.
Yeah.
Not because you are less skilled, solely because the pucks are light up and yours is default. Yours is a faulty puck, and you lost solely on that reason.
It's a joke. It's they went to the dollar store and got up light up pucks and got some faulty ones.
Like, just
again, you couldn't have an intern to turn them on.
Like, the concept of it was okay. The delivery of it was terrible, right? Like, I like the idea. You got 5 targets. You got to hit 4 of them as fast as you can. Go. I like that. They just butchered it, though.
Well, how excited were we last week about this?
That one I wasn't excited about, actually.
Okay, well,
that one didn't excite me.
But the concept is cool, and
it is. It was, and it's different.
Yeah.
And here's my thing. Here's my other question. Why do things have to be different? Right? Like,
well, it has to be different because the NHL's All Star Game is essentially the joke of sports, where it's always boring.
National sports, yeah. No kidding.
So they're trying to do something new. It's just they're doing the wrong new things.
I know. They need to go back to the old, like, 2009 All Star competition, right? Like, that's what they need to go back to. That was when I remember it as the peak. Like, maybe not that year specifically, but back when it was actually a skilled competition.
But they have to make. They have to go the old ways, but they have to promote their new way of playing.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they would. They would, right? But it's just like, it's the old format of each shooter in the hardest slap shot gets 2 shots in 2 rounds. As simple as that, right?
It should be a competition. That should be the main thing.
Yeah, like when as an NHL player, if I say, hey, I'm going to come down, fake my first shot, pull out stand, put a kid inside of it, skate around it 3 times, tap it with my stick, and a kid's going to come out? No. The answer is no.
Sorry. Why don't you cut off the first shot and just come out immediately with the box?
Yeah.
Cut off 30 seconds.
It was too staged.
Yeah.
Right? Because he even went over to the announcer. He's like, "Oh, I think we got to add some magic to this."
Yeah.
Which tells me, like, the whole thing was staged. Back when they used to do it, nothing was staged. Right? You had the 1 or 2 guys who knew about what was going to happen because they had to pass him the Chewbacca helmet or pass him the Yager helmet. But, like, the announcers had no idea. Yeah. The fans had no one knew what was going to happen.
Kaprizov and Zegras, those are the best 2.
Absolutely, they were. Zegras is going to continue to win that breakaway challenge.
Well, he did
that right now. He's the winner. He's the fan winner. But you know what they need to do next year? They need to call a town hall meeting, and they need to bring all the players in, all your superstar players, and say, what do you guys want at the All-Star game, at the skills competition? That's what they need to do. Who cares about the fans? Who cares about sponsors? What do the players want to do?
Because if you do what they want to do, they're going to...
If the players enjoy themselves, and us as fans can see that they are actually having fun and enjoying themselves, we will enjoy it as well.
Absolutely.
That's how life works. Like, it was fun watching Zegras after he did his competition. I don't know if you saw the clip of him watching McDavid do fastest skater. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
There's a clip of him, and like they had the camera on him on the bench, and he's like McDavid jumped over the boards. He goes, "Oh boy, here we go. This should be good. Wow, he's fast. Look, he's just gliding out there. Look at him go.
Oh, did they have
Damn,
a mic
that was
up?
quick. Yeah, I don't know if he was mic'd up. I don't know if he was mic'd up or if the camera was just close enough that I could hear him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like doing commentary. Like you couldn't actually see McDavid skating. You could just see him looking as he skated, and he's gliding out there. It's like he's floating around the ice. Like it was because he was enjoying himself,
Yeah.
right? And seeing him and Jack Hughes together, because they were buddies who played in the under 18s together in the World Juniors together. Like it was fun seeing the two of them together.
Mm-hmm.
That I enjoyed, and they enjoyed themselves, which made it fun for us to see. The rest of it sucked.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Let's move on to something more fun. We got Leafs and Hurricanes.
Leafs and Hurricanes.
Something fun here. I'll let you take this one away. Like I said, I actually missed this game. I caught a couple of the highlights. I saw Matthews needed a head.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I was at work, so I didn't actually see the game. I just know that it was a pretty good back to forth, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I won't take too much time on it. Leafs win 4-3. OT made a nice comeback. So Matthews and Marner both got two goals in this game. Matthew, okay, I'm not going to go into specifics on all these goals, but Matthews' first goal, I think that is the one that made it 2-1. What a rocket! His one-time slap shot. That was I think, the Leafs' second goal.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Missile.
And Mrazek looked like he played pretty good.
He played pretty good. Yeah.
I don't remember what the third goal that they scored was, but I mean the first two goals, they were good goals that Carolina got.
No, like I don't think he let in a weak goal. He played good. I think the team played good. It's just Carolina is a good team. They got down and then they came back.
They didn't give up in the third.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't let Carolina walk all over them. They fought back. Marner fought back, getting the 2 goals.
Monster.
And, holy, the guy's a beast.
Yeah. So, after this game, the Leafs are now 24-3-0 in their last 27 games with Mitch Marner in the lineup. Marner has 16 goals and 39 points in that stretch.
Wow. 39 points in 27 games.
Yeah. So, he's found his game.
Yeah.
And I think you were saying before this, we discussed him not having confidence at the beginning of this season.
That was the big issue in the first 8 games, 9 games or so.
Something like that.
He had, and then because he got that dirty goal against Detroit.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah.
That little fluky goal that went in.
Yeah.
But it was that was the okay. We just needed one, and you can go from there. But after watching him play lately,
well, he has said
he's on top.
He has said, I'm not sure, I can't remember who had the quote, but he said something along the lines of, "I'm not just looking for the clean shots anymore. I'm trying to get the puck on net." And it's very apparent. It's like his goal scoring is skyrocketed. He's not just looking for the open net. He will shoot the puck. And what do we keep saying? Now that he shoots the puck, that is a problem. So now they're going to guard Marner, which leaves other people open.
Yeah. And he's on like an 8-game goal streak right now or something like that. 8. I think he's got 20 points in 8 games right now. Beast. This is what we needed.
Yeah.
Now with that being said, Tavares and Nylander have slowed up a little bit.
They have slowed up a little bit.
But you know what? With the amount of offensive power that this team has, that's okay. Yeah. Right? If those two, because it's going to come before the playoffs, Marner and Matthews are going to slow up a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen, right? No player continues at this pace, unless you're Alex Ovechkin, they're going to slow up a little bit, and I think that's when we're going to see Nylander and Tavares step it up, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen, right? Nylander and Tavares carried the team through the first half of this season.
Absolutely.
Now, in the last stretch, Marner, Matthews, and Bunting have just been absolutely dominant. Like, without a doubt, they are the top line right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
crazy playing right now.
I'm loving the Leafs right now. I don't have many things to say. I don't have many things to say, negative things to say about them. The only thing I think is, trade deadline's coming up. The one thing I think they should go for is a second pairing defenseman on that right side. That is their glaring weak point right now.
And you know what? The coaches know that. The management knows. Everybody inside that organization knows
absolutely.
that. If they don't make a trade at the deadline to get a defenseman, fire Dubas the next day.
Yeah, because this is the year. This is the year.
It is.
Yeah.
The fact that
because every year after this,
that's their only weakness right now.
It is.
Really.
We have a great now that Mrazek's warmed up and he seems to be healthy. When Campbell slacks a bit, Mrazek's playing more than well enough to take the reins for a little bit. That's what we wanted. Yeah. We wanted a 1A, 1B.
Right, and you're finally getting to see what I've been talking about all year. I've been saying that Mrazek has been up to the task, but we haven't got to see it yet. I don't think he's as good. I still think Campbell has the edge on him.
I do too, but he's better than a backup. Mrazek is better than a backup.
We can rely on him.
Yeah, he's a 1B.
Yeah.
He could be a starter on many teams. I mean, there's a lot of teams that wish they had him as a starter right now.
Oh yeah, there are. Like him on Edmonton would do a lot.
Oh God, him on Edmonton, they'd be insane. They can't stop a beach ball, but
they can't.
No, but
they can't. They just they're doing okay. I mean, things are kind of turning for them. Yeah. Dave Tippett just got fired.
Yeah,
right.
We could talk about. I do have two things I want to go through on this Carolina game before we go on to Tippett.
Go for it.
One of them is Matthews. You mentioned it briefly.
The headshot.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah.
Nobody meant to do it. It was just a freak accident. It was just really unfortunate. Matthews gets into a bit of a puck battle, hits an edge, falls down as he's falling. I don't remember who the player was.
I didn't see who it was, but yeah, I just clipped him in the back of the head.
He's just skating by and knees him in the back of the head. It really unfortunate. Goes into COVID protocol. Apparently, he's playing tonight.
Concussion
protocol. Did I say COVID?
Yes, you did.
It just sounded so often.
I know. It's right there. It just rolls off the tongue so nicely. Yeah, but like you're saying, he is expected to play tonight against Calgary.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
Which on a quick side note, Markstrom just got his 8th shutout of the year for Calgary. Yeah, he is having quite a season.
Who are we putting in net tonight? Are we playing Campbell in net tonight?
I don't know, but I would assume so.
Yeah, because Mrazek played Carolina.
Yeah. Here, I'll check it real quick. What else did you have about that game? Was that it?
No, the last thing I had was just kind of a funny thing. So this is the first time Carolina's played in Toronto since the David Ayres game.
David Ayres.
Also funny to note, the goalies were the same goalies that played in the David Ayres game, except Freddie's playing for Carolina and Mrazek's playing for Toronto.
Yeah?
Yeah,
that's right, because Mrazek was the second goalie to go down that game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Second or first?
Second.
I think he was the second, because Reimer went down.
Yeah, he was the one that got... He's the one who got... He came way out of his crease and got checked.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny, eh?
Well, I'm glad this game turned differently than that one did. I'm glad they were able to come back and get the win on this one.
Man, that was a rough game. That was really rough.
It was. All right, so I think that's it for the Leafs. I think. I mean, they have, like I said, they're playing at 9:00 tonight. They play
Calgary.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I forgot what team it was, and no goaltender is confirmed for tonight's game yet. So I don't know who's playing in net for them tonight.
Who do you think takes it tonight?
I think Campbell.
No, I'm sorry. Which team?
Oh, I think the Leafs have got it.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. I do. They're hot right now. Marner's hot right now.
Yeah.
Right, and you remember, like, we were hard on him. I personally was hard on him too. The beginning of this year and overtime or playoffs last year.
I think fairly.
But if you remember, like, when he was hot, the whole team was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like he's the kid of that team. He carries that energy with him. That if he's out there producing, the whole team is going to produce.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, and
when he's down, the whole team is sad.
Yeah, and so I think if we can keep him going, not even at the rate that he's going,
just steady.
It's an unsustainable rate, right? 20 points in 8 games is not sustainable.
No.
Point a game though is,
very,
and I'd be good with that. If he slows off now at the end of the season and just averages a point a game, perfect. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a point and a half, but even then, you give him a point a game, whether it's a goal or an assist. It means Matthews or Bunting are getting a goal or assist, right? So
as long as he's an offensive factor, that's what he needs to be. He needs to be a threat, and he's definitely being a threat.
His last 8 games have shown you can't just let him skate with the puck anymore.
Yeah, that's
have
great.
To cover him because one thing, if he's shooting now, you have 3 shooters on that line. Yeah. We know Bunting's not afraid to shoot. Matthews, you don't let him shoot. No. And now we've got Marner shooting like. That changes the dynamic of that line.
That's been his weakness ever since he became a Leaf, and if he's addressed that,
yeah,
Mamma mia.
I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Well, if we're talking about if we're talking about Calgary, before we move on to the league news, you want to like go through the Leafs' next couple games whilst we're on the subject, or would you like to say that?
Yeah, here I think I had the schedule.
I got them pulled up.
So okay.
Yeah, so after the Flames, Leafs are playing Canucks on Saturday night.
Oh, Canucks are hot right now, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think we take the Canucks.
I do too. Yeah. I think they take the next 3 games.
Yes, because
I think they'll take tonight's Vancouver.
Kraken's after that on Monday. They should take the Kraken. Should.
It's a big word, though. Brandon.
Yeah, it's the Leafs. They'll destroy Tampa and Florida, but they'll lose to Arizona and the Kraken.
Yeah.
Like, you never know.
We'll see. Oh, they play Montreal later this month, too.
That's got to be a win. That team.
Oh, yeah. In Montreal. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I do think they'll take Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle.
I agree.
So this must have been they must have rescheduled this road trip.
Well, yeah, because this is the Olympic break.
They were supposed to do Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle, and they only played the Edmonton game on that trip. The other 3 games all got canceled. Yeah. Postponed.
Yeah.
So this is them picking up where they got postponed from.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of games going forward.
Yeah, well, shoot, there's 3 before the next podcast, 4 between the next 2, and then 3 more.
Whew.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Only 1 back-to-back, which is nice though.
Yeah, that's
right. A lot of them are Thursday, Saturday. There's only the 1 back-to-back, and they're both road games. I hate when they do that. road games back-to-back. Montreal to Columbus.
Oh, that sucks.
Right? Like if you're gonna do a back-to-back, at least give the team the home ice advantage.
Mm-hmm. Or at least keep it close. Like, at least if it's going to be road.
Ottawa to Montreal.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, not Toronto, all the way to the States. Like, jeez, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, well. We'll see what happens. I mean, the Leafs are in reach of first place in their division.
Ooh.
They are. Yeah. So they're 6 points behind Florida, but they're 4 games in hand.
Oh, Leafs have 4 games in hand?
Yeah, because they had to pause, right? Canadian team.
Right.
The Canadian teams, all the Canadian teams are a couple games behind. So Florida has 69 points.
Nice.
47 games played. Toronto has 63 points with only 43 games.
Okay.
Right? So they're 4 games, and they're 3 points behind Tampa, 3 games in hand. So they're doing all right, and they're 8 points up on Boston right now.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Boston.
I'm not either.
Place wise,
Marchand going out.
Well, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's jump into this Brad Marchand thing. So
what an idiot.
So around the league, it's been a busy week around the league, between coaches getting fired, coaches getting hired, retirements, arena changes, and suspensions. It's been a big week.
It's been crazy.
Let's start with the suspensions. We'll stay with the players for now.
Brad Marchand.
We have 2 suspensions. We have Brad Marchand and Marcus Foligno.
Okay.
Now, Brad Marchand got suspended 6 games for punching Tristan Jarry in the head and then tapped him with his stick afterward.
Important to note.
It was a tap.
Important to note, though, the punch to the head, Jarry's looking the other way, and it's to the side of the head.
It was a blindsided punch.
Blindsided punch. Didn't know it was coming after the whistle. That's very important, and it's a goalie.
Yeah.
People, you could punching players is one thing, but punching to the goalie, that's like you don't do that.
Especially blindsided.
Yeah, you don't do that.
No, you don't. And I don't think he actually caught him with a full punch.
No, but
it was enough. It knocked him over.
Yeah, the intent was there.
Probably because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it wasn't like he was just standing there and swung. He skated towards Jarry and took a swing at him. Like, he went out of his way to take a swing at him. And then, did you see the whole puck flip thing at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. Did you see so Jarry's trying to flip the pucks to some fans.
Yeah.
And he, like, anime squats out of the air and catches it. But the fans are laughing because they're loving it. So that's kind of fun.
In Boston.
Yeah.
Right?
So oh, yeah, but it was funny as hell.
Yeah, but Jarry wasn't giving that puck to a Boston player.
No.
There would have been one Pittsburgh player or one Pittsburgh fan there, and that's who he would have tried to give the puck to, right? And it didn't happen. So there was definitely some tension there. I don't know what was said between Jarry and Marchand, right?
You're an adult. You're an adult playing hockey. If you can't take chirps, you shouldn't be in the league. If someone's chirping you and your response is to punch him in the back of the head when he's not looking, that's get out of the league.
Yeah.
Go.
Now, okay, so let's talk about this for a second. 6-game suspension for him. Is it warranted?
I believe so. Before I say, what do you think?
I think I was surprised it was
6,
to be honest. Yeah.
So
because think we've seen a bunch of suspensions so far this year.
Yeah.
We saw Marchand got suspended 3 games earlier this year. The highest suspension I think we've seen so far, outside of Evander Kane, was Spezza for his knee to the head on Pionk, which got him 6 games, which they ended up changing down to 4.
Yeah.
So really, it was a 4-game suspension.
Yes.
And you could argue that Spezza had intent to injure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or intent to do something dirty. Right? I don't think he intended to drive his knee through Pionk's head.
But he fully intended to body check him and knock him on his ass.
Whether it was a clean hit or not, he intended on hitting.
He intended for it to be a clean but brutal hit. It's unfortunate what happened. He got suspended. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, and then so Marchand throws this punch and then taps Jarry with the stick in the head after, and he got 6 games. I thought 4 maybe.
So here's the thing.
I was thinking 3, 4, somewhere in there.
This is what. So the main thing. Repeat offender.
Yes.
He was suspended less than 2 months ago.
I know.
He is also
for the slew foot.
Yeah, he has also just broken the record for the most suspensions by a single player.
Yes, but that shouldn't matter.
I personally think it should. If you're repeating that much,
I agree it should as well.
Yeah.
However, by NHL standards, that doesn't matter.
That's fair. But the 2 months prior getting suspended, that matters.
That's what's going to give him more.
Now, Spezza was not a repeat offender. That was his first suspension of his career, if I'm correct.
Yes, it was.
So that's one thing, repeat offender. 2, it's a goalie, and goalies are kind of sacred in hockey. Like, you hitting the goalie versus hitting a player, it's a very different thing.
It absolutely is.
It was also...
It absolutely is.
It was also after the play, after the whistle was blown.
Yeah.
He was not looking and not prepared for it. And he...
Oh, I know.
And that tap, if the ref hadn't pulled him a little farther away, that tap, you don't spear somebody in the face. What happens if it was a little lower and hit him in the throat?
It wasn't... The ref didn't even try and pull him away. He skated the ref towards him. Like, the ref was just there for looks.
Yeah. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's putting a spear in his face. And so, you can make this almost the same thing. Like, Spezza didn't mean to knee him in the face, but he moved a little bit and it happened. Well, what happened if I didn't mean to stab him in the throat, but he moved? I'm like, but you swung your stick in his face.
Yeah,
he moves a little.
Spezza got the suspension reduced.
Yeah,
right. If they had just handed Marchand a 5-game suspension, you can't appeal it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If they do an in-person hearing and it's over 5 games, the players can appeal it.
Yes.
If they handed him 5 games for it, he wouldn't be able to appeal it. He'd be serving a 5-game suspension.
I think it'll get reduced to 5 or 4. But I think throw the book at him. If he's the most suspended player. He's the most suspended player. Shouldn't somebody clue in and be like, he might be dirty. Maybe we should put our foot down so he stops licking people, spearing them in the nuts, punching him in the back of the head. He didn't even get suspended for the rabbit punch in the back of the head in the playoffs like 2 years ago when the guy was on the ground.
And so that's why I think that this suspension will not get reduced.
Yeah.
Right? I think looking at everything that's happened, they're kind of like, you know what? You had this coming. Yeah. Here you go. Here's your 6 games.
It's like, okay, Marchand, what's your excuse? I won't do it again. Are you sure? Because the history says otherwise.
Yeah. So I honestly don't think it'll get reduced.
And you know what?
I think they handed him 6 games, and that's it.
I think it's the NHL finally being like, you know what? He's been doing this for like a decade, and we've been letting do it. Like, we have to get this crap out of the game.
Yeah.
We're seeing like all these injuries and all this stuff, and we're seeing people not necessarily because of injury, but we're seeing a lot of retirements lately, right? Not because of this. No, but like it gets in your head. Like, what about people that get injured from stupid shit that have to retire early, right?
Yeah.
Like, concussions. Oh, yeah. Concussions are the big one, right?
Yeah.
And I mean that shouldn't be a fact, but that would put me in my head. I'm like, if we have this dirty player going around doing this stuff constantly and we're never giving him a suspension, you know what? Yeah, it shouldn't. We're not supposed to look at the history beyond I think it's 18 months.
It's 18 months.
I
think that's stupid.
Yeah, it's very.
You have
stupid.
The most suspended player. It's like, you know what? Your history counts.
Yeah, You do it more than any other player. By the stats, you are the dirtiest player in the NHL.
Yeah.
But So you know what? I'm throwing the book at you. Stop doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with it. I thought he was going to get less than. I think so. I was expecting like 4. Am I okay with 6? Yes, I am.
Well, we were joking.
I am okay with it.
We were joking in the group chat. Remember, my thing is like I posted in the group chat. Brad Marchand has been fined $5,000, the most allowed by the CBA, because I assumed that's what was going to happen.
Part of me expected that, but I was thinking 4 games. He got 6. I think he deserved it.
Yeah.
I hope they don't reduce it.
If they reduce it,
but now let's talk about what's really dumb though.
Oh,
Marcus Foligno getting 2 games.
Yeah.
We just touched on it. Jason Spezza skated down and collided his knee with Pionk's head. Was it unintentional? Hard to say. But he did not go into it trying to drive his knee.
Yes, and
through
it was
Pionk's
during a play. Things are going on. Things are moving.
Yes.
Do you want to go with what he did?
Marcus Foligno has Lowry down on the ice. There are 2 refs there. The fight is over. And he picks up his knee with the weight of his body and drives it through the side of his head.
It was like an MMA fight.
And he got 2 games for it.
Bullshit.
2 games. How do you give Spezza, a 1,200 game veteran with a perfect record, 6, and you give Marcus Foligno 2?
Yeah.
I get it. Spezza's was in retaliation. Okay, so was Foligno's. He just fought him.
Yeah, it's a fight. It's literally retaliation.
He got down on the ice, boom, drives like, what a joke. Wait, we've talked about it before, that this is a joke, the suspensions are a joke. You have 6 games for a punch to the head, you have 6 games for kneeing somebody in the head, and then you drive your knee through someone while they're on the ice, and you only give them 2. While there were 2 refs trying to break the fight up.
I think we've agreed that the refs in the NHL are near useless. I mean,
that wasn't the refs, though.
I'm
the
saying
refs
they
were
were
doing
there.
their job. The refs were doing their job.
Me.
They were trying to break up that fight. Foligno's not a small guy.
No. But I mean,
right?
look, yeah, I'm just thinking like the Marchand fight we were just talking. They just kind of like skated by. They didn't really do shit. But we're not talking about we're not talking about the refs. That's my fault.
No, the refs, like I said, the refs did the right thing in that Foligno one. They were trying to break up the fight. I mean, Marcus Foligno is 6'3".
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Like, he's not the kind of person you're just going to move around easily, right? And so, yeah, 2 games for that is absolutely ridiculous. It is. But on that note, the Jets. This is another game where they're fighting. Their suspensions handed out. Like, I don't know what they're doing. They're a tough team. They're a rough team, but it's not working for them.
No.
Right? So, yeah, that's all I have on that Foligno one. I thought
dirty.
After hearing Marchand received 6, I was expecting Foligno to get
4.
6. I was expecting more than that. Yeah, I was expecting like 6 or 8.
It's because of I don't know why history is such a big thing for them. Like, honestly, with the NHL,
Spezza didn't have history, right? I was basing it off the Spezza hit.
Yeah.
And then I heard Marchand got 6, and I was like, okay, cool.
Should be
Foligno's
6.
going to get 6, right? After, like I said, you get 2 big things in a row that both warranted 6. It's like, perfect. Foligno will get 6.
No,
and then they gave him 2.
It's NHL player safety. It's like they have a giant spin wheel, and they just kind of throw. Oh yeah, like
they borrowed Zegras' blindfold. Threw a dart at the wall. Yeah, it's a joke. It really is.
I saw a thing online the other day. Do you think Marchand takes over for George Peros for head of player safety now that he has the most suspensions of all time? Because
my goodness, could you imagine that? Wait, George Peros had the most suspensions?
No, but he was known for being a dirty player.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think he did. Yeah, Marchand, and you know what sucks? Like, Marchand's genuinely a talented player.
He's such a talented player. He's just he's an asshole.
He's on a. Have you seen his stats this season?
No, he's doing incredible.
He's having a great season, and then he goes and does something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to know if he does that in the postseason, what happens to him?
Nothing.
Does he get a 2-minute penalty?
No.
Roughing?
No. We've seen him do it.
Do they? Yeah. But
we've seen him lick people. Like I said, was it 2 years ago where he punched someone in the back of the head as they're on the ground? Nothing. Yeah. It's Brad Marchand. He signs sticks for all the refs and shit like that. Like, he's best buddies with all of them.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know he's not. It's Brad Marchand would have to decapitate somebody to get a 4-minute misconduct.
Well, not necessarily. He just got 6 games.
Postseason.
Yeah, postseason. All right. Well, let's move. Let's. You know what? While we're here, let's stick with Boston for a minute.
All right.
Tuukka Rask hangs up the pads.
Oh.
Tuukka Rask has officially. I don't know if it's official yet, but the word's out that he is retiring from the NHL.
He is.
He played 4 games this season. Hip still bothering him, and that's it. He's calling it.
Yeah.
That's the second goalie now this year to end careers.
He's only 34.
Good goaltenders. Yeah, well, I forget how old Ben Bishop was.
Old,
he just retired.
Yeah, 36, I believe.
Is that what?
I might be wrong. I know Rask is 34.
Yeah, that I know as well. Yeah, I know Bishop was same thing. Like, wasn't really ready for retirement.
Mm-hmm. Had a couple years left in him.
Like, 35. Yeah, Ben Bishop. But same thing. I'm pretty sure his was a groin injury though. That just didn't quite heal, and he retired. And now Rask is retired now too. I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast, I think, earlier today, and they said that Rask is the third highest save percentage goaltender in the NHL
of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
With 300 games or more.
Yeah, I saw that. Which
is impressive.
Yeah. Oh, Hall of Famer.
Impressive. Yeah, Hall of Famer. He's got 1 Stanley Cup ring. He's got 2 appearances in the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, I think without a doubt he's a Hall of Famer.
Was it just 2 appearances?
Yeah, in the Stanley Cup Finals. 2013, when they beat the Leafs out in Game 7, they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. And then in 2019, when they beat the Leafs out, they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
What about 2011? Wasn't he?
2011, they won the Stanley Cup. Tim Thomas was the starting goaltender.
But he was the back. Like I think he played a game or two. Like, it wasn't the starter.
He may have played a game or two, but Tim Thomas played.
Because I know
Tim Thomas won them the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but I know he was part of it. I know he got a ring out of it and cup and whatever.
Yeah, he was part of the team, so he has a Stanley Cup.
I'm just not sure if
it's on his resume. However, he was not the goaltender for that Stanley Cup.
Oh, okay.
It was Tuukka Rask who won it.
Tim Thomas.
Sorry, yes, Tim Thomas who won that one. Yeah, so, but still, very, very good resume. I mean, 3rd highest save percentage of all time.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, just an incredible season.
Yeah, it's a shame, man.
Yeah, I can't see what his playoff stats were that year. 2011 they won?
Yeah, 2011 they won.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Oh well, you know what? He's a phenomenal player. It's sad to see him go.
Yeah.
He should have been a Leaf longer than he was.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, such a shit.
Playoffs.
Trade.
Sorry, okay, I've got it here. Playoffs. So no, he didn't play a single game in 2011. He played 23 games in the regular season and put up a .929 save percentage that year.
That's pretty damn good for your backup, man.
Yeah, but he never played.
He didn't play one playoff game?
He didn't play a single playoff game. Nope. It was all Tim Thomas. And then after that, he was 2013. He played 22 games. 2018, 2019, he played 24 games in the postseason. So those were the 2 years they went to the finals.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 playoff runs, or eight seasons where he made it to the playoffs.
A great career.
So, not bad. Yeah, he finished his career with a .921 save percentage.
It does suck he couldn't at least finish off this last year.
Yeah, but you know what? With the hip injury, as a goaltender, you kind of need it.
Yeah.
Right? You need your hip. So that's it for him. He's done. Hopefully, he'll. I think he might stay in the NHL doing something, but
end of an era, man.
Who knows? Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, what worries me is like Ben Bishop retired earlier this year. Rask is now gone. There's the rumor that maybe Carey Price. I don't think so. I mean, he made a statement saying that he plans on playing this year.
He also made
However,
but he also said he's like, I'm not.
Know.
Yeah, you never know.
right? So I would hate to see three goaltenders three top goaltenders all. Yeah, that would be good.
Montreal is screwed if they lose him. They have nothing.
They have a new head coach.
They have a new head coach. You want to talk about Montreal?
They have a new head coach. I forget what Buddy's name was. Darren Ducharme, I think his name was. Now fired, and Martin St. Louis steps in as the interim head coach for the Montreal Canadiens, who never played a single season there. But very good player. Sorry?
He speaks French, so that's why they want him.
Well, he's from Laval.
Yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah.
He's from Quebec.
Well, that's their thing, though, right? They won't hire anyone unless they speak French.
Yeah.
For a GM.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, though, to see what happens with the young talent on that team.
Because right now. That's
the thing. You have Cole Caulfield and you have Suzuki, right? Who are both good players, could be great players, but they need the right coaching. They need the right leadership.
On that team,
I mean, Cole Caulfield stands in at he's 6 foot or 5'7", I think.
He's a little dude.
So he's small. Suzuki's only 5'11". And I mean, Martin St. Louis was kind of one of the first players in the NHL to be small, right? He was 5'8".
Yeah, he's a little
5'8", and he entered the NHL in 1999. So you think about the size of the players 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, back then it was rough and tumble.
Plus the way they hit, they fought, it was a different game then than it is now.
Oh yeah.
And Martin St. Louis played through that and was an all-star through that. I'm pretty sure he has Stanley Cup.
I wouldn't know.
I know for sure he has. I'm pretty sure he's got the one Stanley Cup for sure. I don't know if he has more than that though. One Stanley Cup, 03-04. He won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy with Tampa Bay 3 times. He's got the Hart Trophy once, the Ted Lindsay Trophy once, and the Art Ross Trophy twice. So
good player.
Well accomplished player. Played over 1,100 games in the NHL and had over 1,000 points.
Now here's the thing: good player doesn't always mean good coach.
Correct. Absolutely. However, he will be. I think because of his size and the way he played, I think he'll be able to help out Caulfield, right? Because I'm not 5'8" or 5'9" or 5'7", which means I don't play that style of game, right. And I've never had to play that style of game. And I'm sure when you're 5'7", you play a much different game than you do if you're 6'2".
Yeah.
I think having a head coach who was 5'8" will help Caulfield.
Yeah, I just think
he might be able to just tell him, keep your head up, do this, do that, go here instead of going there, right? He might. I think Martin St. Louis is going to have a good impact on Caulfield.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think, but my thing is, I think with Montreal, that's just the tip of the iceberg for that team. I mean, that team is in free fall, and they're not just losing games badly and going for the first overall pick. The worst thing you can be is bad by accident, and that's what they are. And they're
not.
They're bad.
They are bad. But like you said last week, they have $39 million in LTIR.
But this was
that's not by accident.
No, but they didn't do this thinking we're tanking this year. They had Price and Weber come out of the lineup, unfortunately. They've had multiple injuries, and then they do have a lot of the core from last year. It's just the team has they've just lost all confidence in themselves.
Who were the big three on that team last year, though?
It would have been Price, Weber, Deneau, and all three of them are gone.
All three are gone.
But the thing is, so you still have the rest.
You lose those three.
But you shouldn't be this bad, James.
I agree they shouldn't be that bad. I'm not saying they should be good.
They're like an OHL team at this point. They had 33 goals against in 5 games.
You're right. And 2 of their goalies are on the LTIR. Joel Edmondson is out. David Savard is out. Dvorak is out. Druin is out. Like, you got Savard to cover Weber, to replace him.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Savard's out. You don't have Price? Don't worry. We have Jake Allen. Oh, Jake Allen's out. You have a full first line that's out with Dvorak, Druin, and Perreault. Like, you're missing half your team. How do you expect to win with half an NHL team?
I get it, but
like,
man,
I get what you're saying. Like, it's bad. It's beyond bad this year. But when
their goals against
goalies,
they have a goals against average of almost 4. They have to.
Yeah.
They're a team that's not even at full health like last year. Even last year at full health, they're not a high scoring team. To win a game, they have to score on average 5 goals.
Well, when you don't have any goaltenders, it's hard to make a save.
It
right?
is. I know.
If you have Jake Allen or Carey Price, the team is different. They have an emergency loaner goalie in Caden Primo, and they have Montremblant, whatever his name is, who, after this year, is horrible. Brandon, the Montreal Canadiens goaltending totals $1.63 million.
No, and I know they're screwed and all that thing, but like you can't let my point is you can't let the team keep losing like this because you have young guys on the team.
Let me ask you this then: what do you do?
I don't know, man.
Do you make a move at the deadline and try and improve your team? Because if you do that, what happens if you lose your first round pick next year? Everything that happened this year.
You do not give away the Montreal first round pick. No.
That's what I mean though. What if you said they can't keep losing? If let's say they make a move at the deadline and say, you know what, we're gonna stop losing as many games. We're not gonna start winning a lot, but we're gonna stop losing as many. Which means you're going to start winning some. If you start winning some and other teams don't, you're going to lose that first round pick. Yeah. And if you lose that first round pick, this entire year was absolute waste.
I'm not saying you want to get marginally better and like get higher than bottom, but like they're losing games 7-1, 5-0. Like their team is dead. What
happened?
There's no.
Who cares?
No, but like there's no. It's bad for the development of your young players because they're miserable. Like,
it is.
Do you remember last place Leafs? They were fun to watch at least because they looked like they were trying and they had all the young guys. Montreal isn't like that. They have a couple of young guys, but the whole team just looks. The second the puck drops, they're miserable and they do not want to be there. Mm-hmm. Like that's the difference.
I agree.
If you're gonna tank, go ahead.
Let me ask you this: you keep talking about all the young guys and the development and all that. How many players on that team need development? 2?
Well, you got
Suzuki and Caulfield.
Suzuki, Caulfield. What else you got? That's another thing. They don't really have young people in the system.
So by saying like, oh, we're stopping our players from developing, you're stopping 2 players. Worst case scenario, send Caulfield down to the minors on his 2-way contract.
I'm surprised
let
they
him
haven't.
play down there.
They should. They
did
really
it at the beginning of the season.
I know, and they brought him
back up.
Why though? To play for
because they don't have anybody. But you can't play without players. And when you look at it, it's like, okay, we have all these players. Do we bring up random Joe here and let him play in the NHL, or do we give Caulfield NHL experience?
If it's affecting his development,
what do you do?
Well, because Caulfield's supposed to be like a top guy, and if you're giving him, this isn't NHL experience. This is just like we're just gonna get you shelled and destroyed every single game. He's not learning anything from these games.
No, but he's at least playing against NHL talent, right?
Yeah,
he is. Look at how good Matthews was his first season in the NHL. He came out of the gates flying. Mm-hmm. That's because he played in the Sweden men's league.
Yeah.
He didn't play in the OHL. He didn't play against other teenagers. He played against men. He played against adults, people who would push him around. That's how he learned, and that's how he came out. You can't play against, as a college athlete, you can't play against high schoolers and expect to get better, and then step on a college field or a college court, and you're going to get dummied. And you're like, whoa, the skill's much different here, right? Like, I understand development, but if a player's NHL ready, and he's at the NHL caliber, putting him in the AHL will not help him.
But
I don't
know.
He's going to go down there, and he's going to do well. He's going to do very well in the NHL because he's an NHL player, which means his confidence might boost. That's great. What happens when you put him against real NHL players? Put him against real competition, and all of a sudden, what he was doing in the AHL doesn't work anymore.
But what he's doing in the NHL isn't working because he has nobody to play with. He's essentially he's you don't want to put your college level guy with high school players. At this point, you're putting your college level guy with middle schoolers and putting them against Olympic level athletes.
Yeah, I know. It's not a good situation.
It's like they're pretty much putting them out there every night and be ready to be disappointed. You're gonna suck tonight. You're not gonna learn a thing, and you're not gonna be able to work on any of your skills because our team isn't good enough and they don't care enough because they're miserable. So you're gonna learn nothing. Have fun.
I agree.
I don't know. I don't have the answer. But you're right as well. They're in such a bad position.
It's not good. However, you get, let's say Price is done for this season. Let's say he doesn't play.
Okay.
You still have Jake Allen for the rest of this year and next year.
How long is he out for? What does he have?
I don't know. But he's out this year. Or he's signed on till the end of next year.
Okay.
So they have a goaltender for next year if Price doesn't return.
Mm-hmm.
They have all their other goaltenders end the end of this year. And I wouldn't keep any of them.
Yeah.
Watching how they've been playing. No. They've got Savard signed up for 3 years after this year. Dvorak signed for 3 years after this year. Drouin signed for 1 year after this year. Edmondson signed for 2 years after this year. So they've got some players there, right? Jeff Petrie signed for 3 years after this one. They've got players lined up, ready to play. They just don't have a healthy team on the ice. That's the biggest issue. All right, and I think... Well, I think they're going to be a much different team next year. Do I think they're going to be a playoff team? No.
They're not this bad.
I think they'll be kind of like a Devils, like a New Jersey Devils.
Fair.
Right? One spot outside the playoffs. Maybe make a rush for a wild card, but probably not. I think they're gonna be one outside of playoffs.
I think they're gonna be like high 20s even next year. Because think when they made the playoffs last year, they were 16th, and that was being in the week.
Yeah, that was last seed,
and that was being in the weak North Division. That was also Price, like, I don't know. Now you're a middle of the pack team with Price and Weber. Now you don't have Price and Weber.
Correct.
What are you?
That's it. So this offseason, they need to make some moves.
Yeah.
But I personally don't think they do anything until the draft.
No, you're probably right.
Do we have Shane Wright? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Cool. Let's build around him.
Oh, can you imagine if they pull up Buffalo and get like the 5th overall pick?
I think I think Buffalo had the 4th or something like that.
Yeah. Like they screw up in the draft lottery. That would suck.
Oh, that would. Yeah. It's happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think next year they're going to be a different team.
I mean, they're not going to be like this.
No, they won't. They've got a new GM. They've got a new
coach.
I don't know if he's president or special assistant to the GM. They've got a new coach. So they're making the changes in the front office, which will then trickle down to the team. However, I don't unless they trade off a couple players at the deadline for picks. I don't think they do anything big until the draft.
No, you're right. I think they're gonna go full rebuild at this point. I think they got to.
I don't know if they'll go full rebuild, right? Because like you're gonna hold on to Anderson, Gallagher,
Suzuki,
Hoffman, Toffoli, Petrie, Allen, Caulfield, Suzuki. Like you've got a lot of players that you can work with. Like
That's true.
You've got a team you can work with, but it's your Ben Sherratt who's up at the end of this year. Do you move him as a deadline trade, right? Brett Kulak, whoever that is. Again, he's also at the end of this year. Do you move him as a trade line, as a deadline trade? So they've got a couple options as to what they can do at the deadline. I just don't think they'll make any rash decisions until the draft.
You're
until
right.
they know what's going to happen with their first round, with their pick.
Yeah, you're probably right.
If anything, at the deadline, they're going to try and acquire some new picks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might be right.
It.
Sell off. That would
yeah,
probably be the wisest thing to do.
why start picking up new players if you don't know the direction of the team?
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I think they're gonna move a couple of their contracts that are expiring, try and pick up a couple picks, and then see where the draft takes them. That's what I would do if I was in their situation.
I agree. Yeah, you're probably right about all that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. And then I think the last team that we have to talk about is Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Your favorite team to talk about.
Oh, my favorite team.
Oh yeah, Edmonton Oilers firing Dave Tippett.
Probably smart.
He's gone. Jay Woodcroft is taking over for him. I guess he's the head coach of Bakersfield. So
fun fact, this is McDavid's 6th coach in the NHL since starting in the NHL.
Oh, how many years has he been? 7?
7 or 8.
This is 7th year.
I think it's his 7th year. He had his
He was drafted in what, 17 or 15? Sorry.
Yeah. So this is his 7th year.
Crap. 7th year, 6 coaches. He's only gonna give up so much. Like he's only gonna.
How long are you gonna sit with this management team?
Yeah. What's the point?
No.
At this point, like,
so what, you're gonna spend all your prime years with this team who does not know how to manage a hockey team, who still, since he's been in there, have not been able to get him a goaltender?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Why would you? You're the best player in the world. Everyone would kill to have you.
Yeah, with a hefty price tag.
With a hefty price tag, but like, you could go to a team that's at least better. You can go to any team that's almost every team in the league is better constructed than Edmonton. You take away McDavid and Draisaitl, that team is garbage.
Yeah, they have nothing.
They have nothing. You have
move him for Gallagher. Put him to Montreal. They have the cap space for it.
Even say, this will never happen, but like Toronto, right? Say McDavid goes to Toronto, and what would Edmonton ask for? You'd give him again
Marner.
Not gonna happen. I know. I'm just saying, not gonna happen. Though. Say you give him Marner and Kasha, right?
No, you would be giving, in a realistic deal, I think you're giving Matthews.
They won't do.
I don't think. If I was Edmonton, I would not take Marner. Marner needs somebody with him.
Okay,
Matthews does not.
Even for price wise, say they get Nylander, Bunting, Kasha, right? I'm just saying hypotheticals here.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Oh no, say they get Nylander, Bunting, Mrazek.
Yeah.
Okay, for McDavid. How good is Toronto? Even losing those 3 players, because Toronto's a well-made team, despite their cap problems.
Well, that's the problem. With that trade, they can't fill the cap.
Yes,
they're still over.
Yeah. Nylander, Mrazek, and Kasha.
Yeah.
Nylander is 7. Mrazek is 3 and change.
6.8, 3.8. which gives you what 10-2,
and then Kasha,
10-3. Kasha, who's 125,
and that's
puts you at 11.5. Puts you still over $1 million over the cap.
okay. And then you, well, you have a bunch of people finish after the end of this year too.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, for a lot of teams, $12.5 million
It is
is
lot.
a big deal.
It's a big deal
unless you can find some sort of injury, like what Vegas did with Eichel.
Oh my God, they're gonna be
right?
so
They have
good.
Stone and Pacioretty out.
But
right? With the two of them out, they have the cap space.
But you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean though? Like, teams that can, there's a lot of teams that can make it work that are better constructed. Like, Edmonton's so badly constructed.
Oh yeah.
Right? You put
they're
like anyone,
they have 3 guys.
Anyone who has a goalie is better construction than Edmonton. Essentially.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe except for Buffalo.
Except for Buffalo.
Because at least
Arizona.
At least Edmonton has McDavid.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody.
But McDavid goes to any team other than Arizona, Montreal, and Buffalo. They're
He's
a better team.
Dominant force.
Yeah, that team ends up being better than Edmonton.
That team ends up being a Stanley Cup contender.
Yeah, it could go.
I don't care what team.
Yeah. Any team other than those bottom 3 teams, that team is a Stanley Cup contender.
Yes.
So if you're McDavid, why would you want to stay? You've given them 7 years to sort it out.
And they haven't.
They haven't. They've gone in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? Again, like Montreal, let's see what happens at the deadline.
But again, they keep. But Montreal, this is a 1-year thing. This is like a freak thing. Edmonton's been doing this for several years, and they haven't.
They have been. But again, let's see what happens at the deadline. Right? They might be able, if they can get a goal at the deadline. The conversation we're having right now
is different.
Pointless.
I think
right?
If they don't do anything, this offseason we're going to hear rumblings of him asking for a trade out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
If they don't do anything to help him again, which they keep doing, and they're like,
trade him.
Why aren't we winning? I don't know, because you don't get us a goaltender and we're losing, and we can't win every game 7-6.
Trade him to LA. That's what I want to see.
Trade him.
I want to see him go to Los Angeles Kings.
Oh, he wants to go to Toronto so bad though.
No. Send him to the Los Angeles Kings, and follow in the same footsteps that happened with Gretzky.
Would you trade Matthews for McDavid?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would too.
Yes, in a heartbeat. Absolutely, I would.
But then they won't do that. They would want multiple pieces back. That's the thing. They won't.
They would want Matthews, Mrazek, a prospect, and a first.
And I would not do that.
I would.
Matthews, Mrazek, a prospect, and a first.
Yeah.
Well, the first doesn't really mean much to Toronto.
I would personally do it.
You know, yeah, you're right. I would do it too.
Why not?
Yeah.
Matthews' contract's ending in 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? McDavid signed on for, I think, 4 or 5 more years.
And Matthews is not as good as McDavid. Matthews is phenomenal.
Matthews is better goal scorer.
Yeah.
But overall on the team, I think McDavid would have a bigger impact.
McDavid is the best player in the world.
Yes.
Like, hands down. Like,
yeah.
One
of these podcasts, we're gonna have a conversation about who's the best player ever.
One of these podcasts, we're gonna have a conversation about about the McDavid trade. Like, we have to remember the Eichel trade. We're gonna have a McDavid trade, and that's gonna be next year, the year after.
It might be. Mm-hmm. It might be. All right, I think I'm done. I think that's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Without a third person, you do a lot more talking. So
yeah.
I think that's. Oh, final note: Coyotes have signed on to play at the ASU Arena for 3 years.
Oh yeah, great.
So that has officially gone through, and for a minimum of 3 years, they will be playing with a maximum 5,000 fans.
And Gary Bettman's A-okay with that, but his idea is another Canadian team would lose money. But Arizona playing for 3,000 people, that's A-okay with me.
Yep. Bring in those big bucks.
I'm astounded.
Well, yeah, I know. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got this week.
Yeah, actually, a very packed week.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of big headlines.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens in this next week with Montreal.
Yeah.
See if they win a couple games. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. I don't know. I don't know what they have coming up, but I mean, we'll keep our eye on it and we'll touch back on it next week and see how they're doing.
Yeah, we'll see how they're doing. We got a bunch of Leaf games next week.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 3 games.
Yeah, it's gonna get busy, man. Like February is busy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. So
actually, before we go, what is the score of the Leaf game right now?
Well, I don't know. I do know that Montreal is losing to Washington.
I am not surprised. What's the score for that?
I don't know, but like I was just saying, guess who has 2 goals tonight?
Who?
Cole Caulfield.
Wow, good for him.
2 goals on the night, assisted by Suzuki. Well, at least one of them was. Look at that.
And they're losing to Washington?
No, they're losing 4-3.
So how many goals does Obi have?
0.
Really?
Doesn't even have a point.
My God.
Oh, is he playing tonight though?
Oh yeah, he had COVID.
He had COVID,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know if tonight was his first game back or if it's next game. But either way, we got Cole Caulfield on the board with 2 goals. So
good for him.
Maybe St. Louis is already rubbing off on him.
Coaching change always does perk a team up for a little bit at the very least.
Yeah, well, I think he'll have the biggest impact on Caulfield.
I think so.
Just because they're both small guys.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
You can relate to him, and so I don't know. I think it's a good thing. So we'll see. I was always a fan of Martin St. Louis. So
we'll see great player. Yeah. We'll check on him next week. We'll have a little Habs update.
Perfect. All right then.
All right, guys. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.